San Diego Comic-Con is almost here, and recently we unboxed these grapplers and gimmicks of the Godfather and Kwang, and today we unbox the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. The color variants limited to only 500 each. Gonna be a fun one. Stay tuned. As a Hasbro kid, I am a huge fan of retro figures, and in my opinion, Grapplers and Gimmicks by Hastel Toy are putting out the best retros on the market and the most consistent, and they're constantly pumping out product, multiple figures at a time. And honestly, I think they've built a great line. Now, a lot of people hold the original Smoke Train against Mitch, but he has made up for it tenfold. He's even re-released this Godfather in the orange and green colorway. He also recently released that Kwang that you see there, but now, coming out of left field, he's dropping these 1 of 500 purple and blue colorway Godfather, as well as the red Kwang. And these are available at hasteltoy.com. But as I said, they're limited to only 500 and they will not last long. So we are going to rip into these together and see what they're all about. We will compare them to the standard editions. I have my own opinions of these. When he first showed me these 1 of 500 figures, my initial response was these are better than the standards. And that is God's honest truth of what I feel right now, but it could change as we rip into these. I just really prefer purple. Plus, it has the airbrushing on the Godfather, so that's where I'm coming from. Plus, I think the red is just way more toyetic. But I want to see them side by side, and we're going to do that together here. We're going to start off with this Smoke Train, as I like to call them, but it's the Godfather, baby. Charles Wright, one of my favorite things about Hastel Toy when he does a exclusive is he puts these KB Toys style stickers right on them, as you can see. And if you grew up in the 90s, you remember these stickers, right? Some of these Hasbros that you see behind all the figures, they have some of those original 3 for $10 stickers on them. And they looked very similar to this, very papery, which is exactly what he goes for to make it as authentic as possible. And you'll notice it says Hastel 1 of 500, and then right here, regular edition crossed out. And if you didn't grow up on KB Toys, you know that there was always something crossed out, but it wasn't crossed out by a pen, it was printed. But as a kid, I was like, man, they're really slashing stuff. Anyways, I love that this round has a different carding for the Godfather, that purple carding. Says he does the train tackle, a little homage to Smoke Train. We've got the Godfather signature. On the back, it has Kama, Kwang, Papa Shango, and the Godfather, as well as that artwork. Does not have the dates, but as you can see, it is pretty damn close to what we see here. And the interesting thing about this is the concept art is done by Extra Cooler on Instagram, who also has done quite a few things for WWE. So he's really bringing in some heavy hitters, but let's rip into this bad boy. Only 500 exist, and we are ripping into one. Hurts my soul sometimes, but you got to do it. You got to do it for the collection and the display. Here is that blue hat, like a royal blue hat with that pinkish, purplish combination feather right there. He has his trusty cane, black cane with the silver head. And now we're going to take Charles Wright right out of there. He's got his blue shades right there, which honestly, I love the way that Mitch does the shades, how they just kind of loop over their head. He has his very Reza Ramon style chains, which I love that he keeps it true to the Hasbro form with the GF on it. And now we have that figure. There is no airbrushing on the back, but honestly, I don't think it needs it. He has his tattoos on his arms and his chest. GF airbrushed right there on the right side, and then here lighted up with some flames going right there on that side. I don't know, man. I think this is pretty damn awesome. But we're going to have to dress him up, and we're going to have to put him side by side with the original Godfather that we recently got I want to put all these accessories on so we can see him in his truest form as he's meant to be. Again, can we just talk about how well these glasses fit? And it's, I don't know if you guys can see, but they're actually studded and textured, those glasses, which, true to form again, to what the Godfather wore. The hat kind of just like rests on his head, which I do wish that it fixated to there, but I mean, it's not the biggest issue because it does stay on pretty well. As you can see, I moved the smoke train, the original one, and it didn't really bother it. There we go. Put that on. There we go. And here we have the other one. It's tough, man. It's tough for me to pick. Now that I see them side by side, I like both. I love the airbrushing on the purple. I love the purple. However, I will say that green mixed with the orange feather in the cap really pops, and it really does scream Godfather. For some reason, when I think Godfather, I think two colors. I think purple and I think green. Now, that very well could be because of the original Elite and because of his first BCA, how it had the purple in there. Yes, it had orange on it, but I don't know, man. I always think about the other colors, the purple. But man, this is tough. I gotta say, a mixture of both would be perfect, right? Maybe some green pants with that purple vest. But it's hard for me to go with the original solely because I love the airbrushing on this new limited one. So I kind of have to go with that. I think that the airbrushing really just takes this figure to the next level. And obviously, you know, these were manufactured the same time together, as they should be. The other thing that I think sets it apart is that the glasses match the hat, whereas the original, it's a little bit more of a contrast, right? You got those silver shades with the green hat. Man, I don't know. This is tough because there's pros and cons to each of them. I honestly am having trouble here. I keep going back and forth in my mind because there are positives of each. Like I said, that purple, I'm always going to favor purple. I love that it has the airbrushing. Even though it doesn't have anything on the back, it's not a big deal. But when you look at the original, he has the buttons printed on the vest, which looks very, very good, and that's not on the purple. How about we just go with a tie? Because both are great figures. It blows the original smoke train out of the water. And honestly, it is so toyetic and there's so much going on. You're talking about one figure with 4 accessories: chain, cane, glasses, and cap. I mean, whew, loaded with value here. But now, let's take a look at this Kwang. For those of you that don't know, Kwang is Savio Vega. It's his character before he was Savio Vega. Now, it seems like he used the same old image of Kwang, but honestly, it makes sense because there's really not much Kwang references out there. He comes with the Orient chop, as you can see. And then there's that trusty sticker, as we said. It's the same one as the Godfather, that Hastel, 1 of 500, and the regular edition crossed out. On the back, it has comma, Kwang, Papa Shango, Godfather, just like Godfather had, and it does have that concept art, which honestly, even though I open these up, guys, I keep these card backs because I love the fact that it has all of their artwork on there. When a packaging has something like that, that really adds to the whole presentation of the package, it's hard for me to throw it out. Plus, they're little card backs. It doesn't take up much space. So I do keep these Grapplers and Gimmick ones, even though most carding and boxes that I open, I throw out. All right, so let's rip into this bad boy. Again, man, kills me. Only 500 in existence. Yep, this one wins. Done. Done. Simple as that. This thing is so toyetic. Now, granted, look. This is the Kwang that everybody remembers. Or as I should say with Bruce Pritchard's reasoning, Kwang. Kwang. If you listen to Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, that's what he says. But man, the red just pops and looks so much better. It really does. This looks like honestly, it looks like a Power Ranger. This looks like a figure, not a wrestling figure, but a figure that would be on store shelves back in the 90s. So it's crazy that Kwang didn't get a figure back then because I feel like he would have fit in with the presentation of all other lines. Now, a lot of the things are the same here. We have the same wrist gauntlets, the same arms and hands and painted tape, everything like that. We have the same torso, the black with the gold bolts and the red dot. However, everything else is different. The legs are different. We have red tights with black lightning bolts, black boots with black kick pads with the gold outline, and then the head. I mean, look at that mask, the red mask with all the gold accenting. Man, this thing is money. This thing is money. Yep, done right there. The new Kwang dethrones the OG. I'm curious what you guys think. And don't get me wrong, I love all 4 of these figures, but it's easy for me to pick between these Kwangs. That red just pops on a different level than the standard black. I'm curious what you guys think. Make sure you comment below which of each you prefer. I have a feeling that a lot of you are going to side with me on this red Kwang. I just have a feeling because of the way it absolutely pops. I love colors like that. Plus, side by side, look how cool that looks. How it's like basically an inversion of the other figure. These look like 2 completely different figures, man. The color changes this drastically. So, easy for me to pick. I'm going with the original Kwang. I mean the standard Kwang, but the exclusive Kwang. But the original Kwang is still a banger. And it's available on HastelToy.com. That's HASTTEL toy.com. Same thing with Godfather over here. Also available still at HastelToy.com. Looks great. The likenesses are there. I love how these just feel like authentic and true to the original Hasbro line. So, Mitch, if you're listening and watching, you're doing an excellent job. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep pumping out these beautiful pieces and cementing your legacy in the wrestling toy industry. So, hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at FigHeal. Twitter is at TheFigHeal. Pick up the Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia, available now at HealBooks.com. And yes, it does include Hastel Toys, Grapplers, and Gimmicks, as well as the exclusives along with the standard line. And make sure you join Whatnot at WhatHeal.com, and you will get $15 off your first purchase. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank you for joining me. Peace. Are you a wrestling figure collector of WWE Mattel, AEW Jazzwares, and everything in between? Then you need FigHeal's Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia, the modern edition covering all releases from 2010 to present day. Featuring over 7,000 photos of action figures from the hottest brands, including independent toy makers. Keep track of what you have, want, and need, including loose, mock, and overall collection value. With figure photography by Matthew Goldberg, the Wrestling Figure Encyclopedia is a must-have for collectors. Full-color paperback and hardcover editions available now at HealBooks.com. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at FigHeal. Pick up my book series on Amazon and my merchandise on ProWrestlingTees.com/FigHeal. Join my official sponsor, Whatnot, at WhatHeal.com and receive $15 off your first purchase.